Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson. Thank you so much for joining. I'm on right now with Lori, and she has something that she's just itching to talk about. So this is really exciting. Go
As
ahead,
usual.
Lori,
Okay,
as usual.
as usual. Well, this
Yeah.
one's really, really getting me because it has to do with my nephew. I've had a very good relationship with him, close ever since he came to here. My sister, okay, there's a lot of story that goes with this. I'm seeing that. He came from Russia and he's had a tough, very tough life here in that household. And
Okay.
now he he's 18, not living at home. He's basically living in squalor, trying to get by. He doesn't have a car. He's doing his best. He's having a hard time.
Okay. So you're totally associating with the doer and then projecting it onto him.
Yes.
No one, no one's having a hard time. He's doing what he wants to do. The perception of a hard time is just make believe judgment stuff. He's having the experiences that he set out to have.
Okay. So he calls me and he asks if I can give him some money.
Okay.
And he's very open to what I say, about there is no doer. It's all happening, just happening. He's not failed. He can't fail. And he said something tonight that just made me tear up big time because he, because I keep bringing him back to the moment and what's really happening. Is there anything really happening? Is it, you know, in the moment, are you okay? Because he's projecting in the future and all that, just like I'm doing. Anyway,
Hmm. Mhm.
he
Hmm.
needs a car and he wants money.
He needs a car.
Yes.
How does he need a car? No one needs anything that they don't have.
Okay. In order for him to get to his job, he
Okay.
needs a vehicle.
Okay. It seems like that. Okay.
In this dream, that's what it is.
Okay. So it seems like that.
To get
It
to
seems
it.
like that. You don't really need a car. A car is like magic that you use to make yourself imagine that you just went from one place to another.
Wow.
There's
And
no there's no actual car, you know.
God hope in when you're in this dream living it when it's this is what's happening.
No, nothing's happening.
Ah,
Nothing's
God.
happening. It's an imaginary happening. If you pay attention to what's happening, what you'll see, and this isn't even really happening, but at least the cause of what's happening, what seems to be happening, is an energetic fluctuation. It's an interpretation of energy. I know we've talked about that before. It's an interpretation of energy. And see, just the way you talk about this kid in the car and everything like that, it's obvious that there is identification as an individual because there's this heaviness. There's like this, oh, he needs, and
Aaron.
now he's asking me, and now there's all this,
Yes.
uneasiness.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's all make believe. It's just to get a feeling again.
It's just to get a feeling that I hate.
Well, you know what says I hate is an energy that wants it. See,
Ah.
the I hate is an opportunity because that's an opportunity to go deep. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Just use it. Go deep.
Hang on just a second. I'm writing something. The first 1 minute workout. Join now if you like. Aloha. Okay. People want to come to Wisdom Dialogues. There were 4 people on it, but then it got cut off.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead.
Oh,
What?
I feel the heaviness. I feel like
Yeah,
I do something to
right.
save this kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all it is. Oh shit, I turned my camera off. I just turned it back on.
Okay.
So, so so the deal is that the the kid is just being used to get that feeling. And if you notice that that's what's happening, then the feeling comes up and it's like, okay, there it is. And then you follow that feeling. It's kind of like you follow that feeling back to your heart, back to that place of peace. And all of these thoughts, they're like wind. It's nothing. This is nothing. It works out by itself. It doesn't need your involvement. See?
Oh my God, you don't know how good that feels.
You just have a habit of getting involved. See, even the way you talk about it, you're all involved, and there's no, you don't have to do that. That's like that's like using the ego to do something. Getting involved in situations like this. I mean, even if you find yourself superficially involved in the situation, you don't have to get involved with identifying as a doer and trying to solve situations. And here's how it goes for me when someone asks me for money. Like I'll give you an example too. Aloha, Phoebe came on. Yay.
Oh,
Um,
good,
I
because
know, I know.
there's more
So,
to this.
uh, what?
Phoebe, Phoebe might actually be taking him in, which is more of the story.
Fun. So, so this friend of mine who used to be around here, he was in this really like wild accident where he was just like all mangled and stuff. So he asked me, or he asked like just on Facebook, for some help and stuff. So I gave him $100. I told him I loved him, and then a few days later, he asked me for more money. And
Yes.
then I said, I'm not motivated to send any more money. I forgot what else I said, but he was like, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And it was just, it's just kind of like this idea like someone is needy. Once it gets into the idea like someone is needy, it's like, that's like a sticky kind of energy that's not real, you know if the giving comes out of the fullness of the heart, that's way different from coming from a sense like someone needs me, like if I
Right.
don't do this that their life is going to suck or something. See?
Right.
And the motivation comes automatically, so I don't sit around and ask myself, should I send it, should I not, should I send it, should I not, the motivation, I could tell if the motivation is there. It's real easy. I could just imagine myself giving the $100 or giving money, whatever, and then imagine not giving it, and you could see right there. You could show it. It shows the energy field shows it.
Yeah.
There's no need to question it even. There's no need to come up with reasons like, I'm not going to give it to you because blah, 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 or whatever. Or I
Yeah.
am going to give it to you because this is this. It's just whatever the energy body is showing is where it's motivated. And that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can make stories up about it, like why you gave it or why you didn't give it. See?
Mm.
We're just drawn to do. That's what it is. It's
Well,
funny.
I am drawn to want to help him because
See, that's not it. That's not it.
this,
First of all,
this
I'm drawn to want. Second of all, because.
which is all doer.
Yeah. There's no because.
Because goes right into the story.
Yes. There's no because. That's the thing. See? No need for a story about it.
Boy, the story
Oh,
is.
here's a new link on now. Okay. I think Anon's trying to get on. So you see what I'm saying, Lori?
I guess.
What do you mean you guess?
It's, well, it's coming. It's such a long, steeped in story that, I mean, ever since he got here when he was 6 years old, and now he's 18. So, and there's more of the story I see.
Yeah, because see, you've been loving the story. You've been having a romantic relationship with the story.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
I accept that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
as the
so
aunt
yeah. Go
needs
ahead.
to save him.
What?
The aunt who needs to save him.
Right. Yeah. It's like you get into a role, you get into a story. Yeah. Just watch where the motivations go, and just watch. That's all there is, really. There's nothing else but watching. Choiceless awareness. That's the way someone put it. I forgot the dude's name, but choiceless awareness. Not identifying as something that could save someone or anything like that. And you might find yourself doing something that seems like you save them, but that's just all part of the story too. It just let all of the experiences be the experience. It's all really the same, Lori.
What? What's the same?
Any story you get into, it's all the same. It's all just from a sense of separation. And it's such an opportunity because that feeling of upset is, if you go into the feeling of upset, it leads right back to peace.
Really?
Yeah. And see that the ego doesn't want anyone to know that, because that's what keeps it going. That's what keeps it seeming like it has reality.
Right,
That's what
right.
makes it seem like we have egos. That's a total falsehood. We don't have any ego. That's just an illusion. All it is believing a thought in the moment that makes the ego real.
Yeah.
It just takes one thought. It just takes one thought believed, and then that makes suffering. There's no need for that. See?
Mm. And there are so many thoughts believed here.
No, it's only in the moment. See, that's the thing. Another trick of the ego is to try to get you to think that you have a long way to go, and like you have to wear it away really slowly or something like that. But the peace comes right down to this moment. Like, what am I accepting is true? Am I accept? Look at it's like any thought.
So I'm accepting that there's a boy out there who's suffering and I can save him. In
Yeah,
this, that's
you,
the.
yeah. You're accepting that instead of the truth. That's the choice you're making. It really is just a choice. It's a real simple choice. To believe the story or follow the feeling. It's real simple. Follow the feeling.
the the pain feeling of the heaviness of that.
Yeah, that's the immediate effect of believing that thought. That's the immediate effect of it. And that's where it is, right in the energy field. It's always right in the energy field. And when the thought manifests, it's only doing it in the energy field. But even when the thought of there's a kid, for one, in this instance, you know what I mean? In this instant, there's like a kid outside of you. That's not true.
It, because there's even more. I see that if I don't help him, I'm letting him down.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and see that goes along with the doer too. It has to do with
Yep,
expectation,
yep.
you
See,
know, and approval, wanting the approval too. And that's
right.
the thing. Like I could see that in my case too, the energy that was playing, I could see what was up. It was like it's like this subtle kind of, well, what'll they think of you, if you say
Exactly.
no. Yeah.
Right.
And that's all also a feeling. That's not, there's no reality to that. There's no them out there to look at me anyway.
God, that is so. I there's a feeling of really, really wanting to embrace that.
Okay, well, you don't have to embrace anything either. That's what's great. You know, choiceless awareness is just, it's like nothing. See, it's just a matter of being there for the feeling. It's like, for me, it'll be like, for instance, last night, a thought of worry over money came up. And it's like, oh, there it is, time to use this, you know, because that feeling, it's like it automatically, it's just a feeling. No worry is real, but the feeling comes up, and it's just like this interest in the feeling. And see, this is all automatic too. This is a matter of conditioning too, you know. It's all automatic. When you just let yourself be, everything's okay. Everything, all of these work out. All of these things work out. Just let yourself be. Everything's always okay. Basically, when you don't let yourself be, you feel not okay.
Mm.
So whenever you feel not okay, you're actually holding on to something that's painful. You're
Yes,
holding it.
holding those thoughts that are causing the
Yeah.
pain.
Yes. And it's like a gripping, you have to really put some effort into it. It's such a relax to just go, oh, that's not true. It just doesn't matter. I just made that up to get that feeling. It's obvious. I just made that up to get the feeling. There it
It's on.
is. Yeah. Yep. Super
So
obvious.
I didn't make that up,
Okay.
right?
Well,
It
let's put it this way. Let's
it's
put
what
it this way. How you identify gives meaning to your perception. Like you give it all the meaning.
right or me or the mind give it
Well, it's whatever. It's the mind. The mind's running all the time.
right. Okay. Yes.
It's kind of like you're jumping on trains of thought by
Okay.
your
Yep.
attention.
Like that. Yep.
See?
Jumping up. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's like you're jumping on, you're basically, you have attention to work with, and you're jumping on different trains of thought, whichever one's most interesting to you at the time. And it's like, it's like you're committed to these thoughts where there's a doer, so you're not perceiving that there are much more comfortable and relaxing thoughts like that, or trains of thought that you can jump on instead of that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it takes a stillness. It takes silence to
Yeah.
see other options, to see that there are other options. See, so
I
it
see.
takes it just a moment of, okay, this is a pattern. This is knowing this is a pattern, and then let it do its thing.
Mm. It
Let it just play out.
seems so easy for you.
Well, you know what, Lori? The thing is, it's easy for everyone. What makes it difficult is the attraction to the story. It looks
Mm.
entertaining to you. This story about this boy, and he's got all this story, and his hardship and all this other stuff going on. That's just entertainment. There's no boy. There's energy, an exchange of energy, which is also an illusion itself. We're just demonstrating the contents of the mind to each other. There's no hierarchy like that. He's a boy. Just an itty bitty baby boy.
Mm. Gosh, it seems so. Yep, there goes the mind again. It's just, it wants to hold on to this. Like, I see it, doesn't want to let it go because there's more thoughts coming in. Like, okay, so, well, that's in your world, but in my world, this kid is here and I'm going to look like the shitty aunt that's not there for
No
him.
kid. No kid. Okay. It's like whatever comes up, it's an interpretation of energy. Let the energy be interpreted. Just let the energy be interpreted. However it's being interpreted doesn't make it real. Just how
Okay,
it's being
let the
interpreted.
interpreted, the energy that there is a boy and he's hard up in his life right now and I need to save him. That's the
It's an
and
interpretation of a feeling. You can feel the feeling in your body.
tightness. Yeah, all through. Yes.
Yeah. It's interpreting that. That's what's giving you it's giving you the show that you need to interpret that feeling that you wanted to get.
That I wanted to get. Oh my God.
Because the belief in separation has been attractive, and so it's been habituated. There's no separation, so you have the power. Everyone has the power to withdraw their belief in the present moment.
Okay, withdraw the belief in the present moment.
Withdraw your believing, yes, because remember we're talking about there's a train of thought comes, and there's either jumping on it.
Belief. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like jumping on it is giving belief to it. It's believing. It's a verb. It's actually believing right now, right? If you're jumping on that. So it's like withdrawing the belief is just a matter of it's kind of like taking a step back. I think that's maybe what they call detachment. I'm not even sure. But it's kind of like taking a step back and letting those habitual thoughts just play without giving into them as if they're true,
Mm.
without feeding into them as if they're true. Like, oh, this seems true. I mean, that comes up a lot in my experience. Like, with my husband, if I ever feel any kind of of anger toward him or anything like that, I know it's in my perception. And and even if I forget that for hours or whatever, it immediately will come back, and it's like, whoa, it's like, oh, and that whole thing gets broken apart because it's not relevant for me to hold on to something.
Once it's realized.
Yeah, once it's seen that, okay, I made that, I even shared before, um with my husband, hey, I used you to get that feeling. You didn't do anything to me,
Mm.
you know.
So what if you're feeling love towards your husband?
Celebrate.
Right, love isn't that another story?
Just celebrate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's basically like this. For me, it's like this. There's love, comfort, compassion, lovely feelings, everything like that. Great. Celebrate. Any kind of upset, anything like that comes up, same thing. Celebrate. You know, it's like that is an opportunity right there. And and it's like the prayer, for me, the prayer never stops. You can say the prayer is gratitude is one way of saying it. Just gratitude. Whether I'm feeling whether I'm feeling joyous or depressed, there's always a thank you in there with it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, because all of the feelings, all of the feelings mean something, you know. They're pointing to something. They're pointing to a belief.
Leading back to a belief,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
The beliefs don't mean anything. They're just trying to explain a feeling.
The beliefs are just trying to explain a feeling if
Yeah.
they're open to having it explained.
Yeah, if you yeah, like say for instance you feel unworthy and you think that you feel unworthy because of something your partner said or did. Okay? Um
Yep.
and then and then to go, okay, that's really their problem. You know,
Okay.
they really have a problem. That's just going along with the ego's sense of separation. See?
Mm.
Instead of just telling the truth, like, I'm willing to tell myself the truth. That's what I notice, just like from it's just because there's just total knowing there that the truth will set you free.
Uh, there
So
is an
I'm willing to say I made this up.
God, I made this up.
Yeah, I made
That
this up.
right there is a big um showstopper.
Yeah, it is. It really is because and accepting that and
Right,
accepting that I made this up. There's nowhere to go.
right.
There's nowhere to go. Just to
Hey,
be with whatever is.
right. There's
You
no
heard the saying, "You made your bed, now lie in it." It's
mm,
like you just stay there, just stay with it, just staying with it, and not trying to get out of it, because that's the habit, is trying to get out of it. But once you stay with it, you realize there was nothing to be afraid of to start with. Everything was going awesome.
every, everything.
Mhm.
That leaves
Yeah,
nothing
and
out.
it really is all for experience. So if you really get that it's all for experience, then it doesn't matter what happens. Really doesn't matter what happens because it's
Okay,
all for experience. Okay, it's like, and the experience is happening automatically. It's not like you have to try to experience. It's like there's nothing to do.
okay,
The
it's all for experience
mhm.
for what?
For undoing what we've done in thought, for undoing the self belief, false self belief. That's all that makes this illusion, is self belief.
Right. That there's a doer, there's a self here doing something.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's all that makes this thing even seem real. And it's like the ego will say, "Oh, but I want it, I love it, I want it, I love it." And it's like the thing is the ego will put up all kinds of stops and say you're going to be missing something. You're going to be missing something if you don't just prioritize peace right now, or
Right,
if you prioritize peace right now, like you're not going to get what you want or something.
right.
And the thing is, that is everything that you want. That is everything that you want. There's nothing else. Everything that you think you want is a is a reflection of that one thing that you really want, which is the truth.
Which
Okay,
is
got a question or got it? What's that?
which is the peace. The truth leads
Yeah,
to the
that's all. Yeah, that's right. That's all you really want. All you really want is what you really already are. All you really want is what you already are. So any idea that you want something on the surface of the world, all that is a reflection of wanting what you really are, and feeling like you don't have it. You
right,
already do have it, but feeling like you don't have it. And that's only because of addiction to the story.
right. Totally. I say okay. I see that.
Okay, I have an anonymous question here.
Okay.
Okay, here's the thought that is getting me today and trying to explain a sad, scared little feeling coming up. Okay. I know a person in our community who is sexually attracted to children, and he has gotten a lot of pleasure from pursuing that. It seems like his sexual attraction to children is intrinsic to him. I'm afraid that if he freed himself from his thoughts about that being wrong and just went with what felt good to him, he might end up being sexual with children again. Okay. Well, okay, number one, um, the sexual attraction to children. I'm afraid that he might be freed if he freed himself. Okay, so actually, it's his confinement that makes it seem as if he needs something. And those children seem to fulfill some kind of void in him. And that's not because and that's not because he's freed from thought. That's because he's imprisoned by thought. Only someone who's imprisoned by thoughts can go around and cause anything that's even perceived as pain or or upset or frustration for a person, you know. And in this kind of situation, it's like the child is himself. The child is himself, and he's just doing whatever he can to satisfy himself. Okay, because he doesn't realize the satisfaction that's already here. This doesn't mean that children don't get protected. Please don't get me wrong on that. You
Mm.
know, if there's someone in the community that is like openly like, yeah, I'm gonna go out and have some sex with some kids, it's probably time to call social services. I don't know. it's it's not as if we use these high and mighty thoughts or whatever to try to get out of any kind of responsibility. You know, all responsibility is the spirit's responsibility. So it really what it comes down to is, what does this mean for you? What does this mean for you? Okay. Of course, you know, if there's anything the spirit can do to move you in a way that would protect the innocent, so to speak, then
Okay.
you'll be open. Yeah.
So, what's the difference between going to the cops and telling them that this guy wants to do this to the kids and me wanting to help my nephew?
No difference. No different.
Hmm. Oh
Yep.
my
No
God.
different. No difference at all. It's the same exact thing.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Hmm.
In this dream, it's
Yeah.
about protecting, saving, helping.
Right. People are still trying to join. Okay. Yeah. So it's like there's no difference between helping a child that maybe a child that might be in danger of sexual abuse or whatever like that. Still arising in our own mind. Still arising in our own mind. You know. And the same as the boy that you're talking about. These are really the same kind of things. It doesn't matter because the spirit can take care of everything. The spirit can take care of it. So whenever a feeling comes up, and in this one with the sexual attraction to children, you know, I notice a feeling coming up in me when I even see that, you know. I notice a sensation, a feeling coming up in me. And in my own energy field, it's just a matter of, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Because that's where the upset is. That's exactly where it is. And that's what it needs to play on. And when the upset that arises is just allowed to be okay, then any kind of good that needs to come out of you is just going to come out as it needs to. And you can't judge what's good and what's not. You don't know.
Right.
See, there's the thing. You start to realize that that everything you're giving to spirit, so to speak, is coming is bringing something good. It's always bringing good. See, whatever that is, in whatever form it needs to be in, because
Mm,
we're misperceiving. When we perceive a sexual predator, we are misperceiving. And if we're willing to recognize that we're misperceiving, it doesn't mean he gets off scot-free. It doesn't mean that the kid gets molested and no one cares and all that kind of stuff. It
right,
means that the energy field is open now for new information, not to just live out the past. It's open for new information that can bring new light and show that there's nothing to be afraid of. Reveal that there's nothing to be afraid of in any kind of situation. It does not matter what situation it is. Okay. And it doesn't matter what anyone does. So it's not like, should I call social services or should I not? It's not like that.
no, because it'll happen or it won't.
Exactly. Because it's
Mm,
a moment to moment thing. It's a moment to moment recognizing that there's only the peace of God. Anything else that seems to be other than the peace of God is something is that I made up,
and
basically.
your
And
future
since
thing.
I made it up, yeah, and since I made it up, that gives me dominion over it. See? So just hearing about this is the same community that I'm in. Just hearing about there being a sexual predator in my community, I felt a little bit flustered.
Mm,
Felt a little bit like, I could feel some sensations, and there's a gratitude for that, and and knowing that it's okay. Okay. And whatever needs to happen as far as these individual, um, attractions and everything like that, it's just going to happen exactly as it needs to.
so if it was, if it happened that it was one of your kids that got molested by this person,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
how, how that was just happen as it was supposed to,
That's right. That's right. I'm not saying that I would pretend like I'm not having any intense feelings about it.
right?
It's very likely that if that happened, there would be a lot of intense feelings coming.
Right.
But it's like it's not what you go through. You could say it's who you go through it with. Are you going through it with the ego, or are you going through it with the source or the Holy Spirit, however you want to look at it?
Right.
Are you going through it with your spirit, or are you going through it with the ego? That's all it comes down to. And it's only in this moment. So it might, in a situation that's like extreme like that, there might be a going back and forth into story and then back again. It might be like a seeming wrestling match, you know,
Yeah, well,
in the mind.
that's what's happening with my this you know, the with the money thing. There's a wrestling match going on big time.
Sure. Yeah. So it's the same. See, these are all the same.
Yeah.
There's no difference between worry about money or worrying about a child molester. It seems different to the mind's hierarchy system.
Right,
There
right,
really there's no difference at all because it all speaks to a belief in separation.
right. Like there's a victim and a perpetrator and
Yeah. So
yeah,
it so don't so the key is not getting in on this fight. The
mm,
fight can go on in your awareness, in your perception, though the fight can go on. Know who you are, though. Know who you are. You know this. You
yeah,
know it, it's in your heart. An upset feeling will come up to try to veil what you already know in your heart, but you can follow that feeling right back and be availed of any kind of pain or suffering on the spot.
when you say you follow that feeling back, Do you physically, do you like visualize it going back to your heart?
No, mm-mm.
Oh,
It's more it just following, just I guess you could say just following the sensations
in the
with
body.
attention. Yeah, with attention, just following the sensation, just following them with attention.
Hmm.
And it always leads back to peace. They're only just like it's like a cloud. It's like a superimposed cloud. It's almost like it's above our sight, the superimposed cloud, you know. And we can just
Okay,
and and we can
super-
just be who we are. Hmm?
superimposed cloud. What is it superimposed on?
On the mind.
So it's like a
Basically
soft.
look at like the mind is the mind is just pure thought. You could
Okay,
say
yeah.
the mind is the thought of God. You could say it's innocence, it's purity, it's peace, it's compassion, it's wholeness. Okay?
All right.
Then there's this superimposed kind of like I see it sort of like a dark cloud, but it's not real. It's just made up out of other thoughts that deny God's thought. See?
Oh,
Deny the thought of God.
okay.
The mind is the foundation of the mind is a thought of God. The foundation of this world is a thought of separation, which denies God.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So seeing through that is basically seeing through the thought of separation is basically kind of like staying where you are and just experiencing the effects of it, the effects in the body. It makes different fluctuations and stuff. Experiencing the fluctuations.
Hmm.
So you can even just like pinch your arm. You just like pinch your arm when you're
Yeah.
having a thought and put your attention to how that feels where you're pinching.
Okay.
And that takes the attention away from the thought.
Oh, that's
See?
why that tapping thing.
Yeah, and it's really hard to do actually if you're trying to do it as an ego. See, it's really hard to do to just pinch your arm and pay attention to it while you got all this running on. See?
Hmm.
So it's a fun, and that's what makes it fun and it's kind of exciting and challenging. It's like, oh, there it is. You know, instead of just like, oh, this sucks. You can tell even your body language, even uh,
Right.
uh, like that. Any sigh, anything. It's all just it's all just like a rehearsal for death. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of. So anytime anything that's showing like any kind of distress or burden or anything like that, just allowing it to be as it is, but not identifying with it as if it's true. The habit is identifying with it as if it's true. Like you can get something, like say this guy with a sexual attraction toward children. The this is a good example because it seems kind of extreme, you know.
Right. So it
Seems
challenges
pretty
that
extreme.
mind.
Yeah. Okay. I That's what I'm afraid of, that he could be watching and hear. It doesn't matter what I do. I am illusion and think it. Oh, and here it doesn't matter what I do. I'm illusion and think it meant he had free reign to not curb that attraction. I don't know that any children are in imminent danger, by the way. It was when I was a child that I knew him to act on these desires. Thanks for helping process this. I do see how all these thoughts are the same. Wow, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and I appreciate your questions too. And you know that's such an interesting one because you know it really hits home for a lot of people. Of course, you know, these children are innocent. You know,
Right.
it's not like they deserve to be molested or anything like that. You know, and then at the same time they have also chose this path. They have chose this path.
Right.
from a higher perspective that can't be understood from the perceptual mind.
Right.
Okay? So it
Right.
always really comes back to there's nothing wrong. And this one about molesting children, since it gets that feeling like, oh my God, I really do want to do something. I really do want to help.
Mm.
It's it's a big trigger. Like, can I just sit here and be? And that's really all it comes down to. If there's just a willingness to say, this is a misperception.
Mm.
This person that I'm perceiving right now to be a child molester is not what I think. It's not really not what I think.
It's just a
It's just a thought. Yeah, it's not it and and there's no way that it's true. How we're perceiving it, there's no one is a child molester. That's not really true. Yeah. And here's another one for you. If you're afraid that he's gonna listen to this or he does listen to this and hear it doesn't matter what I do, I'm an illusion, that's for you. It's really for you. That's it. It's really, it's really saying putting up that fear of separation, like, wow, if I don't protect myself, I could be doing something wrong. If I don't protect myself about bad, I could be doing something wrong. And it's really a hidden idea that I am doing something wrong right now and I'm using this spirituality.
oh my God, yes, I
That,
see that.
that's a yeah, that's a subconscious thing. What if I'm using this spirituality to cover up what I'm doing? You know,
Right.
that's the ego's question. And see what it comes down to is there is no doer. There is no doer and there's only divine grace. Okay? And if someone listens to this and it says and they say it doesn't matter what I do, I'm an illusion, they're not getting it. That's not getting it.
No, because
You are
that's
not
I.
an illusion.
Right,
You
right.
are not an illusion. That's the thing.
The
You are
I
an
coming.
illusion.
Yeah.
And as the one who's not an illusion, you have full dominion over the world. And in recognizing that you have full dominion over the world, you know that your only source of happiness is love. So
Mm,
there's no need to hurt anyone. There's no need to go around trying to get sexual fantasies fulfilled by anyone,
mm.
much less children.
Right, right, right.
See, it's not it doesn't matter what I do. I'm an illusion. It's that I'm not capable of doing. What's happening is the mind is playing out. The mind is playing out
Mm,
the contents of my own belief. The mind is playing out the contents of my beliefs. So if I say something with an intent to harm, that's my intent to harm myself.
mm,
If I do something with an intent to harm, that's my intent to harm myself. And that's the same thing with the child molester. On the surface, it seems like he's getting what he wants. He's getting some quick sexual satisfaction,
mm.
but in reality, he's only hurting himself.
Self, exactly.
He's only hurting himself. And no one wants to do that in their right mind. Only an insane mind would want to hurt themselves. Okay, Phoebe would like to come on. I'm just going to bring her on while you're on.
Yay.
Aloha, Phoebe. You are on, my love. Aloha. Phoebes. She put herself in as Phoebes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for her to do whatever microphone thing that she needs to do, I started off when I was live briefly on Facebook or YouTube about this New Year's resolution thing this idea that we need to do something different
Mhm.
and we need to get better. It comes in a lot of different ways. I see it play out a lot. Like,
Comes from there's something wrong with us.
yeah, yeah, like okay, say for instance, today I'm not feeling motivated to exercise. And so the ego will come in and go, okay, well today just rest, and then tomorrow you're gonna really, oh yeah, you're gonna really, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And it's just so funny because I've seen that one my whole life, like ever since I was a teenager, where if I had a day where I wasn't like really active and working out and stuff, I I'd have this dialogue that would play about
Mm.
about okay, you really blew it today, but tomorrow, and it's just really fun to see that playing out, especially around the first of the year. And I posted something on Facebook. Maybe you didn't see it since you don't go on there. But oh, let me get it so I know what it says. Um, it says, where is it? Okay. Ego makes resolutions. If you don't want to suffer over them, don't identify with the meaningless voice of self judgment.
Mm.
So then
That's
I
all.
had
That's all it is. Self
yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah,
okay. So I'm using my nephew for self to beat myself up.
yeah. Yeah, it's all that resolution stuff. That's all the same thing, beating yourself up. It's setting up for failure, for one, because the motivation only lasts for a little bit. The motivation is only to try to eliminate some guilt.
Right.
It's to try to bury some guilt, get into something else.
Totally see.
Yeah,
I totally see that.
yeah.
Aloha, can you hear me now?
Yay, Peeps!
There's a mute and an unmute. Hello, ladies.
Aloha.
You're just awesome, girl. Love everything you're saying. Yes, everything, Tease, everything.
So, do you have a question, baby?
What?
You have a question?
Oh, I have a question? Oh, did I push a button?
No.
You pushed the button that you wanted to talk to me. Did you have anything that you wanted to share, or you have a question, or you want to talk about anything in particular?
No.
Well, it's all right. You could just be on here. That's all awesome.
So
Okay.
if because there's stuff around if she does take in my nephew,
Yeah.
um like her husband is worried that if it doesn't work out that something's going to happen between her and I and whatever, all kinds of the mind is coming up with all kinds of stories that
Yeah.
could go wrong. And so then on my end, it's like, because if she does this, of course that's going to make Lori's mind more at ease because her nephew will be getting the benefit of not just a great place to be, but being around Phoebe is a
Okay. That's all bullshit, though.
it
Yeah.
is.
That is
Yeah.
all a bunch of bullshit.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's like however it works out. Who cares how it works out? For one thing, who cares how it works out? All
Right.
all we're doing is interpreting energy. So if there's an interpretation of the energy as if you could do something to ruin a relationship or something like that,
Right.
then
Right.
then, then that's kind of like asking for that to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like
Well,
asking Phoebe, it's like asking Phoebe subconsciously, Phoebe, will you help me play this thing out? I need to see this out.
well, when she came here for the amount of time she came here this summer, there was concern from others. Wow, she's going to be here a long time. Isn't your relationship going to be, your relationship could be, what the, none of that happened.
Yeah.
I didn't even entertain those thoughts that was going to happen or whatever.
Yeah, and even if someone wants to be pissed at you, you don't have to be pissed at them. And
Well,
you don't have to take their being pissed at you as if that didn't come out of your own mind.
so, so when somebody's pissed at you, it came because I wanted it.
Yes. And yeah, and you know, yeah, and you know, like I had an experience with that just the other day. That a guy just decided to say Merry Christmas to me or something like that, and in the Merry Christmas he wanted some work, and I didn't respond to him right away. So then he started sending me all these messages that he started like talking about me and my business kind of in a derogatory way, sending messages and stuff like that. And you know, I just take it as if it's coming out of my own mind because it is. It is coming out of my own mind. So any kind of upset or reaction that's arising within my body, it's just being fully experienced.
Oh my
And then
God.
and then you know, funny thing happens. The guy talks and talks and talks for maybe like a day or a day and a half or something, and then he goes, "Yeah, I can see it. That's all just my own entitlement issues." And I never even said anything to him.
Oh shit. Wow.
And then by the time I respond to him, you know, it's just you're awesome. I love you. It's all good.
Right.
See, so even if someone is upset, it is upset and projecting some upset. That's still out of my own mind. And since it's over out of my own mind, I have all dominion over it. I don't have to accept it as reality.
Oh my God. I can just feel the freedom in that.
Yeah, it's
Then,
amazing.
then the mind is like, you get so far to go that it still does. I see it doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not far to go. There's nothing's far to go. That's also an ego dream. No, you don't have far to go for anything. It's really just a choice. Like I don't get into conflict because I don't choose to get into conflict, basically.
Mm.
Conflict can come up for people, that's okay. I don't have a conflict with it.
I'm going to listen to this recording for the next month, every damn day. Hopefully,
Okay.
see,
That's not your resolution.
oh, that's not my resolution. That's
Not your
exactly
resolution now, is it?
exactly the same thing as what you said about the vision.
Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to listen to this ever again. You don't know what'll go on, you know.
No, I don't
But,
know.
but basically, you know, the truth will always set you free. The truth will always set you free. It's like I made this up.
That's what I'm gonna put.
You could put I made this up on a sticky note. Put it up.
Yep, put it everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm, that's a really good pointer. That's a really good pointer. I made this up.
I made this up, and everyone who seems to be involved is playing along with my plan. So think. Everyone involved is going along with it.
Yeah.
'Cause I wanted them to. Okay.
But they're really not even there.
Well, yeah, it's still me.
It's still me. Yeah.
It's still only me. In the realm of the dream world, they're coming to me as images doing my bidding.
Mm, doing my
That's why I thank everyone. Because it's like all gratitude is to myself. It's all me.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It really does feel so good.
Yeah, it really does. And you deserve it.
Mm.
And you can have it in any moment.
Just have to get out of my own way,
So to speak.
so
All
to
it is
speak.
all it is believing in an illusion, believing in something that's not real. Okay. Oh, speaking of things that are not real, last time we talked and we weren't on recording, but you brought up marijuana. Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah, and you asked me if it helps. And here's the thing about anything in the world.
it doesn't.
Everything is an effect of the mind. So does it help? Does it help? Depends on how it's being used.
Yeah,
Again, is it being used with the ego or is it being used with the Holy Spirit? See? Is it being used with the ego or being used with the Holy Spirit? Being used with the ego is using it as if to escape something. I need to get out of this pain. Let me get
right,
out of this. Like
right,
that.
right.
Or is it used to the Holy Spirit? That is, even if there is this, I need to get out of this. I need to get out of this. There's a sense of watching. See? It's just like a detachment. It's like a stepping back.
Hmm.
You don't have to. You don't have to go say a prayer and be like, "Oh, holy, whatever, whatever, whatever." Okay, now I'm really calm and like that. But it's more like a willingness to watch them. It's always a willingness to watch the patterns that arise,
Hmm.
or try to get something out of this. Try to actually get this escape. See, there's this idea of an escape playing in the front of the mind. Say there's an idea of using this to get an escape. What's
Well,
aware of what's aware of that?
hmm.
Are you there? Are you with what's aware of it? Are you with what's aware of it, or are you caught up in the dream? And
Hmm.
what's always aware of the fluctuating back and forth too.
Right, right.
That's all it is. That's all it is. When you get caught up with a thought, get caught up with, should I be doing this right now? Is it there? And there's thoughts that go both ways. That's a funny thing with the marijuana, because in my mind, I got it both ways. It's so funny. It's like, well, there's the idea that, well, you'll be more clear and more able to handle things if you didn't smoke marijuana. One idea that comes up. Another idea, if you don't smoke marijuana, you'll be missing out on some insights. You know, see how this like goes back and forth like that. So
Yes.
just watching these fluctuations. That's all it's for. That's all smoking the marijuana was ever for, was to bring up these things, to bring up these ideas of self-judgment so they can be seen through, so they can be undone. That's all that doing anything is for. Making the bed, taking a poop, whatever, making love, that's everything is for the same. Everything is seeing through what we make believe. We've made to believe. We've make the make believe world, let's say. Okay? And it doesn't matter what it is. Can it help? Can marijuana help? Yes, in the same way an essential oil can help, a massage can help. It's all in the way that it is used. Or you can say who it's used with. Who is it used with? Is it trying to get something for an individual? Watch the motivations. You don't
Hmm.
have any motivations. You don't have any motivations, so you can just watch the motivations honestly. You can just watch them honestly. You don't have to hide from them. They're not your motivations. Just watch the motivation.
Hmm. Because there is motivation when I smoke pot to, because when I'm with Phoebe, we just, oh God, it feels so good. We go places that I don't normally go when I'm
Sure. Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about how it's used to work on the mind is for focus. So whatever you're focused on gets amplified. That's the way it works.
You know what? That's what Peter says. He's always said, pot to me is whatever you're focused on, it just magnifies it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So great. Use it. So if it happens to be coming up in your experience, you don't really use it in a physical sense. You find yourself smoking pot like that, you don't really use it in a physical sense. It's arising. The smoking pot is an arising phenomenon. So when
Okay.
the smoking pot is arising, are you just with it as an experience, or are you identifying as the one who's smoking pot? That's what makes it into dangerous. That's what makes it into ego fields.
Right.
See, and that goes for anything. That goes for eating too. Okay, that goes for eating. Same way. Same kinds of thing. You know, sun tanning, whatever. You know, it's like it's know the purpose. Know the purpose of all things, and everything will lead you to your goal, which is knowing who you already are. See,
This will lead you.
they all things have the same purpose, and that's for undoing the perverse world we've made our better lack
Mhm.
of better. Okay, it's all for the same thing.
For undoing this illusion or separation.
Yeah, and you know what? There's nothing to do. There's still no doer in that.
Right, right,
Through experiencing as you are, allowing everything to come as it does. It allows everything to unwind. Just watching, you know, even not even allowing. Let's say not even allowing, just watching. There's allowing, there's not allowing. Those the fluctuations come and go. It's okay.
Oh boy. It's okay. Another one in the moment. It's okay.
Yeah. And really what you're comforting is this energy body, this child like energy body. When it's just saying it's okay, it's like it's comforting this energy field that allows it to relax.
Right,
And that
because
also comes up spontaneously. Even the it's okay comes up spontaneously. There's no doing. You know, sometimes you might notice, oh, I forgot to say it's okay. It's okay. It's also automatic. Really, it comes down to I love that one choiceless awareness. Choiceless awareness. There's no there's no embracing, no rejecting, nothing. There's just watching whatever it is that arises.
watching everything that arises.
Yeah,
Okay.
not trying to be anywhere, anything. Okay.
Okay. Oh boy, I hope.
It's all good. It's all flowing exactly as it needs to.
Right, right.
Okay. It is. It's all going exactly as it needs to. And you know, this idea of when am I going to get it and stuff like that, that's also another thought.
Yeah, that I feel that because it
Yeah.
brings the ick in the body.
Yeah. It just relax into that in the body and you'll see that it dissipates.
Mm.
Relax into that. You don't need to believe the thought about it though. So yay.
Okay.
So back to the idea of resolutions, because that comes up really subtly. I notice it coming up like I'm gonna, I don't know, be nicer. How about that one? I don't
Okay.
have that one, but I've heard of it. That one. I'm gonna be nicer. I'm gonna have a better budget. Whatever it is,
Yep.
I'm gonna be better at budgeting. I'm gonna get my finances together. Every single one of those is an attack. It seems to
Yeah.
have good intention, right? But every single one of those is an attack. Another opportunity to relax and feel what it feels like. Recognize what it feels like to attack yourself.
See
It's
that?
fun. It's really fun.
Mm.
These normally these are thoughts that the conditioned world thinks that you should be having. You should have these thoughts.
Right. To motivate you. Yes.
Yeah. To
Yep.
get to keep to motivate you. And the thing is, every single one of these thoughts is an attack on yourself. And when you can feel that it's an attack on yourself and it becomes meaningless, it's an amazing amount of grace that's sensed. And it's like such a relaxing feeling to know that you don't have to get beat up by any of these thoughts, any thought ever.
Mm.
And that's a little bit of a beat up, and any little bit is a lot. That's the thing. Any little bit is really a lot. So it's like I'm lazy. There's one. I'm
Oh,
lazy today. I'm lazy, and there's no way you can be lazy. Today I'm lazy. Tomorrow I'm gonna really be not lazy. I'm gonna really be the opposite of that.
another one that gets people. I'm late.
Yeah, that's not
Late.
possible either.
No, not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible. That's not. You're imagining yourself into going to different places and stuff like that. And that doesn't mean that commitments aren't kept. For the most part, commitments are kept all the time. I mean, sometimes something else might need to happen, and it will. But you find that it's actually easier to keep commitments. And
Mm.
commitments that don't need to be kept are just not kept.
Right. And there's no mistake in it.
Yeah.